I store brand water.
Are we
Send
gonna,
Pellegrino.
Calvin, this
I
is
just
a
got 'em
question for
from
you. Are we gonna be
Richmond.
able to salvage
Oh,
those beautiful
gosh.
crepe myrtles out back?
Had like 5
Please don't
minutes
let
for
them get
dinner.
knocked
Oh,
down.
gosh.
Headed out.
Yeah.
They're gonna replant them, so give them to somebody's yard and do
Oh,
something with
nice.
them.
Hopefully
There are
this won't
4
go too
of them
long.
right
You
out
can
back.
relax.
Right here against the building, between the building and the
It's
parking
the
area.
building.
You're like,
Right, well, I don't know which, right here, right out there. I'm pointing there thinking that, yeah, but right over there.
Do it.
Don't, they're too pretty to, yeah.
Good evening. I'd like to call this April 13th, 2022 meeting of the City of Manassas Park Planning Commission to order. The time is 7 p.m. My name is Lester Finkel. Sitting this evening are John Evans, Michael Beckett's, Martha Collier, and Alana Mensing. For our first order of business, I'd like to ask Commissioner Evans, would you lead us in the moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is actually approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda for this evening? Seeing none, would anyone care to make a motion to approve the agenda?
moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Next agenda item is adoption of minutes from our March 9th, 2022 meeting. Are there any changes to the meeting minutes from commissioners? I don't have any either. So would anyone care to make a motion to adopt the meeting minutes as is for March 9th, 2022 meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Next agenda item is citizen time. I don't see any members of the public to speak on an agenda item not on the agenda this evening, so we'll move along. For our new business this evening, we'll start with a public hearing to consider the FY 2023, FY 2027 Capital Improvement Program. I'd like to open the public hearing. The time is 7:03. Administrator Berry.
Good evening, planning commissioners. As you're aware, we did have a long discussion in February on all the CIP projects. So with that in mind, I just thought we would update you with the changes that have occurred since that time. And there's just a few changes. The first, this is a new project, downtown communication infrastructure, and it's for funds to provide construction of all the public rights-of-way and any amenities within it, within the downtown area or the part of the central areas we're now defining it. So you can see some of the public roads are highlighted in yellow on that photo on the screen, and essentially it is money for $600,000 over 2 years. The second project is actually in addition to one existing project. It was called the Ballard project for Costello Park. We had to change the name because we also added in $50,000 for LED lighting in the actual community center. So we combined the projects, added that, so now it's a different name project, but includes what was existing plus another move towards LED in one of our facilities. to the capital improvement program is the rooftop HVAC units were added for the police station. Those facilities need to be replaced, and that is $500,000 over fiscal year '23 and fiscal year '24. That also is in addition to several of the projects that are listed on the screen, but this was a new one that was added since February's presentation. And then finally, the ERP software was added to one of the capital improvements or capital projects for the information technology department. That will certainly help us manage our finances better. We have wanted a new system for a while, and so this will be coming in fiscal year 2025. So we have the funding for it, so we're going to proceed with that. Not next fiscal year, but the year after that. That essentially is all the changes since February. If you wanted to discuss any of those projects that we went over or these changes, I'd be happy to do so. Staff is recommending approval of the capital improvement program as presented in February, as well as the changes that have been presented this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments from commissioners?
None.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. And just for the record, I don't see any members of the public present to speak. Okay, very good. So unless there are any final statements or anything, nope. Okay. I will then go ahead and close the public hearing. The time is 7:07. Would anyone care to begin discussion, or shall I offer a motion? Okay, very good. So from what I've seen through the presentations from our February and March, and then the presentation this evening, I find that the items in the FY 2023, FY 2027 capital improvement program for the City of Manassas Park to be consistent with the comprehensive plan, and I will offer a motion to recommend the CIP for approval to the governing body. Anyone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Our next agenda item is a public meeting for Site Plan SP number 20-10C, Village at Manassas Park, Phase 1B Commercial. I will open the public meeting. The time is 7:08. Administrator Barry?
Thank you, Chairman. We do have the applicant online. Probably need some technical assistance to get him to. Matt, did you have a presentation?
I do have a brief presentation. I'm happy to say a few words, Mickey, if that works for you.
Sure. I guess I just need to share the screen so you can present your item. Always need technical help.
You need to share it, screen.
Oh,
Hey, Matt, if you go ahead and share your screen, we'll bring it over for the PC to take a look at.
I'm happy to share. I'll share the landscape plan with you. Actually, I am not allowed to share right now. You guys have to give me permission.
Yes, give me one.
Oh,
I got quite a lot
Oh,
of.
that's
that's
fine.
right.
Let me close the door, that's,
Okay.
I have to make sure it's done.
Let's do- And hopefully you all can see what's in front of you now, which is essentially just one of the sheets out of the full site plan, which is the landscape plan as a point of reference. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So may I begin?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So good evening again. My name is Matt Marshall, and I am actually here representing the applicant, Morton Scott. Chelsea can't be here tonight because she is out of town. Actually, she's on vacation, so good for her. And in her absence, again, Matt Marshall with LDC. I'm the responsible party for preparation of these plans before you. Some of you may recall, we've had notice with the fourth plan that we have now presented to you. That's before you tonight. So this plan before you is in the fourth submission and the fourth plan, lots of fours. So don't be confused. It's entitled Village of the Manassas Park, Phase 1B. And a couple things just to point out as points of reference. We most recently approved Phase 2, which is obviously to the top of the screen here. Sorry, as I'm moving everything around. Phase 1A is to the bottom here. This is Park Central Court here and Manassas Drive on your left. So hopefully everyone is familiar with generally where we are located at the corner there. This site plan proposes a single building, inclusive of a cinema, a office, and a restaurant currently. The building will measure approximately 81,000 gross square feet. As contemplated, is 45 feet height. Includes the construction of Village Park Drive, which is a public street. 134 surface parking spaces, an area for public art, as well as the proffered areas that are built to complement and program the plaza and the street in front of the cinema. Anyways, that's a general overview. I don't want to bore you with any more boring details. I'm happy to answer any specific questions you have. Before doing that, I do want to thank Mickey, Dean, and Calvin. It's actually pretty remarkable that in less than 2 years, we've processed 2 rezoning, comprehensive plan amendment, and 4 site plans. This is the final one, as I mentioned before. It's probably the first time I've ever done this in that compressed of a schedule. So without their assistance in this process, none of this would have been possible. So without further ado, I'll open it up to questions if you have any at all.
Very good, thank you.
So we can give a, are there any questions from commissioners for the applicant?
No. That's good.
Okay. We don't have any questions there. Thank you very much for providing the presentation. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Administrator Barry?
I think Matt touched on several of the points of this site plan, so I'll go through these slides pretty quickly and just highlight some few items that you may not have touched on. This is the actual location of the site plan. We are sitting right in the middle of this building, as you can see by the outline of where this site plan 20-10C, or as they're calling it, Phase 1B commercial. So it does incorporate most of this area of the property that we're sitting in right now. As you recall, and Matt mentioned, this was part of a rezoning. This map just shows you where the locations of those rezonings occurred. Clearly, the big one was rezoning 20-06, which really included all phases of the Village at Manassas Park development, and we had to, subsequent to that rezoning, rezone this portion down here, the truck driving school, as a separate rezoning due to change in ownership. So, but it functions as one development. And Matt mentioned several of the different phases. Here's just a visual of where those locations are. Again, we're talking about the site plan 20-10C. And you can see where everything is. The only one that is not identified here is the space where I'm showing the arrow and showing the zoning district. That will be the future VRE site plan for the parking garage. That is currently under review for your information, so we will be moving that forward as soon as we can. It's going for second review comments.
Cool.
So you will be seeing that in the next few months. Matt also showed the site plan. I just wanted to mention real quickly that I know that the actual footprint of the building has yet to be finalized. So they will be coming back for some type of revision to the footprint of the building. So this will be a general, this is the general concept. And there is a public road, as he said, along with some private travel ways and a little green space in front of the proposed building. And also, you'll note that they will be adding some parking along Manassas Drive. Here's a little section that shows Manassas Drive, so they will be adding additional parallel parking there. And we have reviewed the plan for engineering and zoning comments, and it meets all the minimum requirements. So staff is advising that the Planning Commission recommend to the zoning administrator approval of this site plan.
Okay.
I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from commissioners for Administrator Barry? Okay. Thank you. If Commissioner...
This is Dean. I have one comment.
Sure, please, go ahead.
Okay, so when you approve this, just to kind of expedite, we're going to also need to do a boundary line adjustment. You already previously gave approval for it for the last site plan, but I just wanted to remind you that this is also going to be part of that. So if you could also, if you vote here, vote also to authorize Mickey to approve the plat that goes with this.
So it would just say the site plat, or what would
Well, it
you?
would be the site plan and associated plat.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay. If no questions from commissioners for applicant or the city, then I'll go ahead and close the public meeting. The time is 7:17. So if there's no discussion to start with, I can offer a motion. I will offer recommending approval of site plan with associated plat, SP number 20-10C, Village at Manassas Park, Phase 1B, Commercial, to the zoning administrator for approval. Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Our next agenda item is a public meeting for subdivision SD number 22-04, Parcel A, Connor Center. I will open the public meeting. The time is 7:18. Administrator Barry?
Thank you. This is actually a subdivision of one of the parcels within the Village of Manassas Park. So a lot of this will be familiar to you. I'll go through these slides quickly. The subject subdivision is, is a subdivision of a portion of this property that now includes the new city hall and what we refer to as Building C, which is the retail/restaurant building and both are currently under construction. And if that is the area in blue is where that is, the physical construction is taking place. So if you turn that photo before you, 90 degrees. Here is Park Center Court, and this is the actual parent parcel of the subdivision. And you can see that here's the private road that's proposed, public road that's proposed through this development that goes from Manassas Drive up to Park Center Court. The parent parcel is parcel A, and this will be subdivided to create a parcel unto itself for building C. This is a rendering that kind of helps you identify the location and area of where the actual land, land will occur. What it shows is the actual subdivision will include a portion of the plaza as well as alongside that will be under their ownership. Now, there is also, of course, an agreement that about use of those facilities for the public when there are events and whatnot. And that's really not part of the subdivision, but just as an informational item that that there is an agreement between the city and the owners of Building C that when it gets conveyed to them, that there will be, a shared use agreement for that area, for those.
Hey, Vicki, if I can chime in real quick.
Yes.
Vicki, can I chime in real quick?
Yes.
So since this package was put together, we've gone back and forth a little bit with Norton Scott's attorney, and the plat has been revised not to change the size of the parcel, but now we have some easements and a dedication of a common area. I can put that up on my screen if you let me share it. It's not a huge deal. It's just that it shows the area that's part of the plaza, the brick area and the plaza. It shows that as common area that we can use. The city manager and the tenants there can go ahead and coordinate to move the tables and such out of that common area during events. So there's a strip that corresponds to the brick area, and then there's also the entirety of the parcel. There's a maintenance and repair agreement essentially that allows the city to go in there and make repairs to the exterior of the building and also the land area from the building to the property boundary if the owners or tenants don't do it. Those are all in keeping with the original comprehensive development agreement. And this was the easiest way to do it. So I don't know if you want to see that or not, but I can pull it up if you want.
Dean, we're trying to get the shared screen to work, so bear with us.
If not, I can just email it to Keith real quick. And I mean, Keith ought to already have a copy of the plat. It was part of the package for next Tuesday's governing, or not next Tuesday, the 26th governing body meeting. There's a public hearing. I sent the agenda item today to Laszlo, and he forwarded it to Kelly, and I think Keith was copied, maybe not. Okay, so this here, you can see this area right here. That's the common area. That's the portion. They're actually going to be putting tables and stuff. There's a breezeway here between City Hall and this site. It's designed for both the restaurants in City Hall and the restaurants over here to set up tables. The building actually comes about here. So during events, the tables will be pulled back over here, and they'll be pulled back towards the building here so that people can walk around here if the city manager needs that space. It may not be necessary. And then you'll notice up here, there's a note that says the entire area, there's a blanket easement across it all to allow for maintenance in the comment in the declaration.
For a possible motion, would there be any additional language to what we would be doing, like we did with the last one?
No, this one here is pretty straightforward. You're just going you're just approving the plat, or recommending approval of the plat as presented. So you can just say it like that, as presented, and this would be what's presented.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I can throw up another exhibit if you want that shows the building location relative to the this area here.
Sure, please. Thank you.
All right, let me pull it up real quick here. Oops, that's not it. Sorry, hold on. I got to search through my stuff here. Well, I'm sorry. I thought I had it readily available. It'll just take a second here.
Sure. No, you have time. Thank you.
There it is. All right. So this shows the yellow is. Let me make it a little smaller here. The yellow is the area of the parcel. Okay, you can see the building outline here. This brick-looking stuff here on both sides, that's the area of the common area. Okay, we're going to have the easement. Easement basically runs right on the edge here, all the way, and then down here on the left side. You can see there's space around in here where they can still set up tables and along here, but ordinarily this breezeway here is going to be set up with tables and people can kind of walk through them, create kind of an urban environment. Same thing here. These planters are going to kind of demarcate the area so that typically there will be, people dining in here and there won't be people walking through here. But during events, they will go ahead and pull the tables back if necessary, maybe wrap them around here a little bit, or maybe pull them over here. Whatever works out between the city manager and the businesses, and then that way this area here can be used for people if they want to watch the movie that might be playing on the large screen across the street. Chances are we're not going to use this, but this is just in case.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions from Administrator Barrett? Did you have more there?
No, I believe that same plat was in your packet. Dean, there were subsequent changes to what you submitted to me last week? Because I did have.
Well, can you speak up? I can't hear you very well.
Oh, yeah, for some reason this isn't.
Just talking to this one right here, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I heard, were there changes to something?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to be clear. I had a plat in the packet, and I just wanted to know if there were any changes from the one that you had sent me last week, because that is what I included. It looked the same as what you're showing.
This is the one that I show as being in the packet here. You'll see that it does not show the easement area.
Okay.
And it doesn't have that note up here.
Okay.
So those are the only changes, was just the additional that. And then they also changed this to say parcel A, Connors Center, Park, or let's see, Bloom's Court, because that's a legal term. And that was just, I didn't think it was necessary, but the attorney for Norton Scott did. So those are the only changes. The easement area is shown here. And let's see if I can pull it up and just show you that, just kind of do an eyeball there of what's there. And you'll see that here we have the additional easement here. We have the additional note up here, and then we had Bloom's Court added here, and those are the only changes to the plat.
Okay,
So
great.
we'll be asking you to approve this plat that's presented tonight, not the one that's in the packet.
Fine. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did I answer your question, Mickey?
Yes, that clarified it quite well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions from commissioners?
No questions.
I don't see any, so thank you very much. And Don't see any members of the public. I didn't mention that in the last public meeting, but didn't see any members of the public there either. So at this time then, I will close the public meeting. The time is 7:29. And if commissioners would like, I can offer a motion. I'll offer regarding subdivision SD number 22-04, parcel A, Connor Center. Recommend approval of plat as presented to zoning administrator. Motion?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Very good. We have no unfinished business to attend to, no report of special committees, and bring it back to Administrator Barry for informational update from community development staff. Administrator Barry?
There really isn't that much to update. We still have a few things in the pipeline that will be coming to you over the next few months. But really, the most important, I think, information during this week and next is the household hazardous waste drop-off, which is occurring this Saturday. The changes, they did make changes to the date since our last meeting, so I wanted to be sure everybody got that information. The household hazardous waste drop-off will be occurring this Saturday. I think is it 8 to noon? I emailed the proper information in our meeting agenda item, as well as you can find this information on the website. And there is a shredding event the next week, and that will be at the Public Works Building. The household hazardous waste is at a new location off of Owens Court. I believe the address is 9097. But please refer to the website or the email I sent you for the exact information.
Okay.
And it looks like we are moving forward and getting ready to move out of this building, so it does look like that will be early July now.
You were saying July 11th, is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
as of this week, that's the target date.
Okay,
so.
very good.
8 to noon, household hazardous waste this
Okay.
Saturday.
Very good. Questions from commissioners? Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries